Hello and welcome to Senior Living Live. I'm Janae Sherman and I appreciate you all taking time to be with us today for our webinar. Our topic today, Why Healthy is Wealthy, is going to explore the benefits of making an investment in your health. Our guest today is Veronica Barnaby, Lifestyle Director at Arbor Terrace Citrus Park, and she's going to be sharing with us how we can have a simple and healthy lifestyle as we age. So I'm definitely going to be taking notes, make sure you do too. But before I give her the floor, I want to remind you that if you have a question, to please type it in the bottom at the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and I will be happy to read those to Veronica once she's completed her presentation. So Veronica, thank you for joining us today, and the floor is all yours.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. She introduced me, and I am the lifestyle director here at Citrus Park. It is in Tampa, Florida. I am also the senior fitness and wellness specialist for the Arbor Company. So I'm really excited to be here to share a little bit of information about news that has pretty much been the ancient times that really hasn't changed. So some of the things that I'll be touching on today health, maintaining and improving cognitive function, about physical health, some of what the national societies and physical activity guidelines have been for not only young people, but for seniors, and all together the well-being and the importance of supportive community and what wellness means in our new generation. So I am going to actually share a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation, and here I go with sharing it. All right. I'm going to give my computer a moment to wake up, and let's wake up. All right. So as you can see, we're going to be touching on a couple of things, but first of all, as I scan through all of this to the very beginning, is health is the real wealth. Okay. And it's a little information about me. One of the things that we really try to combat in any community, any senior community that provides programming, is frailty. It is commonly characterized by loss of muscle mass, weakness, slowness, fatigue, and is highly related to acquiring disease and disability. So being fragile is modifiable through sustained lifestyle interventions. The mind, the body, and the wellness focus is the balancing act of maintaining to meet the demands of your everyday life, daily routines, without being a danger to yourself, without being a fall risk. So individuals that follow a good regimen and healthy lifestyle choices and behaviors, including physical activity, diet, and social engagement, seem to be living a lot longer. So we see a lot of people now in their 70s, 80s, and 90s living a lot longer that have been adapting this new way of living when it is a well-balanced programming. All right. So my job is to reduce sedentary behaviors and offer stimulating, fun, and age-appropriate programs to keep your mind and body firing on all of the cylinders as possible. So let's dive into the importance of brain health. Now, in my career, I have been more physically bound, and I think the brain is a magnificent thing. It is so wonderful and so complex at the same time, but it's so simple. One of our American philosophers, as you see, Ralph Waldo Emerson, in 1860 said, good health is the foundation on which to build a life, community, and economy. So there goes that wellness. There's that well-balanced economy and community that we want to try to continue to transmit in our everyday life. And our friend over here, Mr. Charlie Chaplin, his best doctors was sunshine, rest, exercise, diet, self-esteem, and friends. So that also goes into the brain, physical, and the well-being that I'll be talking about. Sunshine being getting out in the universe, getting some fresh air, having some camaraderie. Rest, I'll talk about a little bit of the importance of rest. Of course, I'm going to highlight exercise and really what that means now, because a lot of it has metamorphed into a lot of different things that you can do. Touch a little bit on diet and the self-esteem and how it all pretty much it affects your everyday living. So let's talk about the one thing that everybody in senior living talks about, and it's Alzheimer's and dementia. So Alzheimer's, we know, is a disease that disrupts the communication among neurons, resulting in a loss of function and cell death. So really briefly, so that I am not like going on for a long time about this, there are so many correlations to your physical activity and your mental health. So this year, the Alzheimer's Association warned that dementia risks, as your activity rate fall, seniors who sit 10 hours or more a day had a 320% increase in dementia risk. So neuroscientists research suggests activities like puzzles, learning new skills, and staying socially engaged can help. In my community, every Tuesday we have the brain class to offer stimulating programs. I have the Ollie program from USF, which is a college program that offers college level courses that are free for our residents. We weekly hold history, technology, arts, and craft classes, and the residents have the option of attending all of these classes for free. So we really try to make sure that in our communities, we keep a focus on not only the physical function, but the cognitive function so that you don't have to worry about too many Alzheimer's or dementia or any other type of debilitating onset diseases. So I want to talk a little bit about this woman right here. What you're seeing is a slide of a TED talk that I held here in the community. Lisa had a book called Still Alice or a movie called Still Alice, and she actually has a book about it. And she's talked about the importance of sleep. And I walked away with having such a appreciation of rest. One of her big talks and other neuroscientists believe that Alzheimer's disease is called by the amyloid beta accumulation in the brain and in the nerve synapses. So you have to sleep so that your cerebral fluids can actually go and help cleanse some of this clutter that causes Alzheimer's. So that was one of the big talks. If you want to see her talk, here is a little bit of information about her, Lisa Genova, and it's really cool. She talks about pretty much how important it is. It's not just heredity. It's not just what you might be predisposed to, but you can fix this. It is never too late. You can start doing things. And those things that she were talking about were these three things that you see here. Deep sleep, which she considered the power cleanse, exercise to keep that machine moving, and mental stimulating activities, which she considered the cognitive reserve. So whenever we're talking about this well-rounded of health, it includes the brain, it includes the body, and it includes your emotions. So we here at the Arbor Company is taking a really big leap towards the wellness aspect and seeing how successful our programs have piloted in the last year when we really made wellness the focus versus just things that keep you busy. And so, as you see, one of the best recommendations for your mental is sleep, exercise, and stimulation. So, some of the other things that people are talking about is what did Netflix just release? Oh, Live to 100, The Secrets of the Blue Zones. The Blue Zones is not new. People have been talking about it for years now. And everything that I have just said, it's kind of repetitive that all things are considered. So here you see that it tells you to move naturally. There goes your exercise, your outlook. There goes your emotional, your eat well. All right. What you are is what you eat. So you're either fueling for goodness or you're feeding the badness. So you want to make sure that what you're doing when you are putting things into your body, that it is resourceful and it is high in everything that you need for your diet requirements, and that you are fueling for the good and not feeding the bad. And then your connections, which is also your community, having a loving and supporting that well-being, importance of that support. So if you are interested, here goes another resource, the Netflix series, Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. I have not personally watched this because I am not new to the Blue Zones. I have known many research that's come out about different areas of the Blue Zones, including like in Italy, they drink wine and they accredit that to being why they stay alive. I think that's interesting because we do have someone here who is almost 100 years old and she drinks red wine every day. And she accredits her living this long to her red wine. Is that true? I'm sure she has other lifestyles because she is completely active. She is completely independent. She doesn't wear glasses. She doesn't wear a hearing aid. She doesn't have any medication, but she is physically active. She used to be a golfer. river. She lived on a golf course. So we have seen that there are so many positive correlations when you are physically able to do something in your life that it keeps you mentally sharp. All right. So I'm going to bounce off of the brain and I'm going to actually go into more of the physical health. Okay. So engaging residents in fun activities is key. We're going to shift the focus to physical activity. As an instructor here and for the company, I follow the latest trends and recommendations from agencies like the Department of Health and Human Resources, the Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, and I acknowledge the Move Your Way. So I'm sure that here we go. This is Move Your Way, and I hope you're able to see it. And as you see at the top, this is a national organization, the U.S. Department of Health. You can go on health.gov and Move Your Way. It's pretty much telling you you can do anything. There is so much you can do. You can run, you can bike, you can garden, you can go for a walk with your grandbabies. You can be physically active in a gym with weights, which you definitely want to increase your bone density. So if you do weight-bearing exercises, there goes your bone density. Sport-related exercises, family and community-related exercises. So there is tons of ways of getting active. A lot of people who are not active is because of loneliness. And people ask me all the time, what do you do for people who are not stimulated to do any type of exercises? Well, I find something that is interesting to them, and I make it an exercise. So I did a talk a long time ago about basic things that can be an exercise, like brushing your teeth, standing up, brushing your teeth, rocking back and forth, making sure that you are able to have stability, making sure that you can always sit down and get up off of a toilet, because we all have to still use the bathroom daily. So just finding some of those daily routines and making it a little bit dynamic. So before you actually have to go to the bathroom, if it's not a rush, try to get up and off the toilet maybe 3 times just to stimulate that power in your legs and to make it a functional thing. This isn't something that you have to have exercise equipment for. This is just daily activity. So when we do translate this type of information to our seniors, we make sure that they understand that the things that we're doing is for your regular functional life. It's not to run a marathon. It's not to win the world's greatest body or the sexiest grandma, grandpa competition. It's pretty much to just keep you active in the things that you need to do every day. So, the Move Your Way has the adult dosage of walk, run, dance, play, encouraging activity guidelines. So we start our morning here in my building when programming with exercise, which I actually have to accredit how active our community is. A lot of our surrounding senior communities consider us the teenagers, and it's not because of our age, it's because of the level of activity that we do here. So with the variation of strength training, balance classes, water aerobics, water exercises, water walking, Tai Chi, walking clubs, it contributes to flexibility and your cardiovascular fitness, while sport-specific games like bowling, I know a lot of people like Wii bowling, golf, we do have a putting green here, and an element of fun and social interaction, which leads me to my last topic, and it's your overall well-being. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about diet just a little bit because it's a lot of research now going on. I totally am a little bit of a late starter on the mushroom movement, but it's become a really big thing now. There's actually Fantastic Fungi, which is a Netflix presentation or a little documentary about the wonderful benefits of how different mushrooms not only can kill you, but can make you stronger, right? And that's kind of like a cliche thing to say. But lion's mane was one of the ones that they pointed out as being one of the powerhouse shrooms. So it can protect against dementia, it prevents nerve damage in the brain, it stimulates the enzymes that produce the nerve growth factor. So if you have nerves that have been damaged, it actually can regrow. So isn't that wonderful? People who have MS, people who have Parkinson's, it helps relieve symptoms of depression and anxiety. It protects against ulcers in the digestive system. So here we go again with this well balance, eating of the earth, being of nature, being of yourself, and movement, because it is natural for us to move. We are like living machines. We were not meant to sit behind a desk for 8 hours or 10 hours out of the day, even though that's how we have productivity with money and commerce. We actually are machines. So if you don't use it, you lose it. And I'm sure people have heard that before, and it is a real thing. If you sit down all day long and you try to get up, you will be in pain. You will be in discomfort because you have slowed your body down to a sedative flow. And that means that means your immune system is slow. I mean, everything slows down. So when you ask of your body something that you have not trained it to do, which could just be basic activities, then your body will not give you what you want. So this is a really good another resource. So if there are people out there that want to know like what is a good thing that you can actually eat that will help you ward off a lot of these bad things. I am not a doctor, should have been, but I am not MD. I have been in this business for over 20 something years. I have seen the positive effects. I cannot tell you many negative. I've never really had any negative effects of any classes or seminars that I've given. But I do know that this is one of the things that people are pushing now. You can go to Publix or your grocery, and you'll see a whole lot of different products that are being produced for an organic or garden lifestyle, which is really important. You want to eat of the earth as frequently as possible, because pretty much that is what is going to give us all the benefits of a healthy human system. So there are other mushrooms that are good. And a lot of times if you get mushroom supplement drinks, they have all of these: reishi, chaga, and ashwagandha. You have a boost immune system. It decreases the size of tumors for cancer. Isn't that amazing? Chaga is from, it grows mainly in the bark of birch trees. So all of these are not new things. It's been around for ancient years. So we're just now really finding out how important or how radical these beautiful and ugly or fungus, if you want to call it, has on the human body. So talking about that overall well-being is what you eat. You know, if you eat of the earth, it definitely helps. So yeah, so it's wonderful that we have been able to create a well-rounded community experience here. At any time you can walk into my community and see groups of people talking and playing games together outside of our calendar activities. We have guided meditation and we have chair yoga. And there are fantastic ways to get in touch with your spiritual and your emotional well-being. So going into that last tier of now going from the brain to the body to the emotion and to the spiritual well-being. We have Bible study here that provides a meaningful and spiritual connection for those. We offer services like massage therapy, because it's really important that you also give your body a release. So we do offer once a month, a massage therapist comes in here. We also have skincare consultants that adds luxurious touch to our community. We do outings to theater shows and comedy shows. We have in-house comedy shows, daily happy hour to bring the social joy to our community. So that is kind of the shebang of, and this is a little bit about the brain. So I am going to stop. I have to say, in a very short version of long research over many, many years and decades and centuries, to say the same thing over and over again, that it is important that you are moving in your daily life, that you are feeding your body the proper nutrients, that you're trying to stay away from things that are not of the earth, in a sense. So a lot of junk food, that it all accredits to your overall health as a wealth. So the reason why that this was a title is Steve Jobs, before he died, and he was a multi-million billionaire. One of the famous quotes from him is that, out of all the things that I have, money and everything, it means nothing when you don't have your health. That health is the ultimate wealth.
Very true. Thank you, Veronica. I think it's really great to hear about all the wonderful things you're doing with residents. I'm so surprised about all of those different things that are going on in the community. So I'm just thank you for sharing all of that. We do have a couple of questions here for you. For those of you who haven't gotten your questions in, please look at the bottom of your screen, click Q&A, type your question in so I can read it to Veronica. This is the great part of Senior Living Live, is that you get your questions answered live by these experts. So thank you for spending time with us today. So we can go up, we can take up to an hour, so make sure you get those in before it is too late. So first, for someone who is noticing these little trouble spots and is worried about brain health, does that mean it's already too late to reverse that? Or should they, what steps should they be taking right away if they're starting to notice some issues?
So one thing is that we have to make sure that it's not a common factor. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know where I put my keys. Well, that's kind of normal, right? It's just depend on where you are in your mental loss, in a sense, right? Because a lot of times when we are overwhelmed, a little bit of stress in family, we won't retain as much information. And sometimes people think something's happened to me mentally. Oh my gosh, I might be having Alzheimer's or dementia, or you could just be stressed. So one, you want to evaluate really where you are in your life. Is it something that has just come on because you have a lot of things going on? Or is it something that you really have to be paying attention of because you're trying and you don't have a lot of outside noise, but now the inside noise is kind of silent? So there is a lot that you can do. One, I would definitely, see a doctor. Of course, we always have to say, seek a doctor to see, is there something else going on? Because simple things like UTIs affect you mentally, right? So you could be having something simple going on. Having a high blood pressure, having your sugar level out of whack can cause loopiness, can cause confusion. So the first step is to see why. And if you find that it's nothing, your levels are in line, you have everything under control, you're physically fit, then you would want to tackle it with diet first, right? I'm a big believer of the earth, and what I was talking about with like the lion's mane, and with the evolution of now different things that were once illegal being legal, and I won't go into too much of that because that's a whole nother topic. It's never too late. The point is, it's never too late. You can do something about it. First, try to diagnose where you are. If it's stress, if it's just an emotional crisis, is it something hormonal, right? Because it could be your hormones. You could be going through menopause, and oh gosh, I know so many women have gone through menopause and lose their mind, but it's a change. So where are you? Are you in your 50s? Are you in your 30s? Are you in your 70s? The Lisa Genova talked about, if you include all these things, the power cleansing with having good sleep, the nutrition, you can actually start getting having all of this stuff regenerate, having new neuron connections. You can actually start cleaning out some of those negative wastes that are causing the clutter. Sometimes it is a little bit, too late, but one of the things that she talked about in her talk was like, if I got to know you and I only know your name, most likely I'm not going to remember anything about you. But when you make a layer of connections, right, then your body or your mind will be able to say, okay, well, that nerve connection got severed, but I have 4 or 5 other things that I do know about that person. I might not remember how old they are, but I remember where they were from, how many children they had, or something like that. So you want to just layer your intelligence when it comes to things. All right, I know I normally put my keys in 3 spots. I either put it on the counter in the kitchen, by the door, or in my bag. But if you don't have that pattern and you're just sporadic, then it can cause quite confusion, because then you never know where things are. Then it makes you feel crazy. So I would get checked out, and then I would try to tackle things that are really good for the brain in the diet. And there's so many things. Try to stick to the earth as much as possible. There's been so much research on just such a positive change with any cognitive decline.
Oh, that's all really good. That's really great about the sleep too. It makes me feel bad because I don't get enough sleep.
Yeah,
So,
and nobody really, we are such a go, go, go economy, in a sense, that sleep is like the last thing. Well, you'll hear people say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, you'll die before before anything. because you're not giving your body the chance to relax. You're not giving your body the chance to flush things out, right? A lot of people have issues with with their lymphatic system. So you need to make sure that all of your systems, not just your body, not just the brain, but the nervous system, everything has to get what it needs. And you can't deprive one part of your body and expect everything else to work. It has to be balanced and it has to be a working system. It can't be I'm gonna shut one off so that the other work. As you notice, that kind of doesn't work when you have organ transplant. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Well, you've said a lot about organic and eating close to the earth. And that's another thing I need to work on. I like to get a lot of supplements in so that I
Okay.
can, kind of help the things I'm not getting. But tell me a little bit more about these mushrooms because I've been hearing little things, but this is the most I've heard about this. So you mentioned organic mushrooms and supplement drinks. Are there how hard are these to get? Are they I know some mushrooms are difficult or expensive. Are there other ways to find them and are they difficult to find?
Yes, I can show you. I'll pull up really quick because on my PowerPoint presentation, I actually have a picture of one of the bottles that is in a grocery store that you can get. Okay, I'll put it up on the screen for everybody. Nope, that's the brain. Ginger root is good. All right. It increases neurogenesis, it raises the BDNF levels, it enhances function. It helps in reducing amyloid beta plaque, which pretty much neuroscientists believe that's the disease or that's the start of Alzheimer's. And that's when it begins to accumulate. So the beta plaque for those with Alzheimer's, ginseng is an adaptogene, meaning it helps the body to reduce stressors. And I talked about stressors, right? So it may reduce amyloid, neural fibrillary, fiber buildup, related to Alzheimer's. And this came out March 16th of 2021. So this isn't like old research. This is still old remedies in the new age that work. So ginger, there's so many drinks with that. I sampled this drink for my residents as well as my counterparts here at the office. You can buy this in Publix. That's here. We're here in Florida, so Publix is the #1 grocery store. But if you go into your grocery store, into the aisle that's refrigerated, normally you have a lot of healthy drinks like kombucha, a lot of things that have live cultures in it for probiotics. You have different smoothies. You should be able to find different products like this one right here. This product right here is the one that I brought into our community. One of our residents try. It's a ginger turmeric. I'm sure you all might have heard the benefits of turmeric. Turmeric is really, really good. And not only does this one have liamine in it, but it has reishi, chaga, and turkey tail. So this is and if you can see, I put the nutritional label up so that you can see what it is. It's pretty much all organic, right? And it says organically produced. Raw apple cider vinegar. That's one that's really good. This is just an all-in-one. You don't want to really rely on just taking supplements all of your life because you mess up your digestive system, right? And I could talk a little bit about that, but I just wanted to show you the product. This has dark maple or dark amber maple. It's fresh pressed with turmeric juice, ginger juice. So all those things that I was telling you that was really beneficial to your cognitive production and ability to function. This product has it in it. And I couldn't even drink the whole thing, to be honest. It shoots my energy level up so high and I'm really sensitive to stuff. I don't drink coffee. I'm just a tea drinker. So when I drank a little bit of it, I was like, woo, I had a lot of energy. And everybody who I just pretty much gave a shot to, and you can drink the whole bottle. It does have a little fizziness to it. And as you see, it says alive, ancient mushroom elixir. But this is in your regular stores. So
I'll
that
have to
is something.
check that one out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I know you talked about brain health, you talked about fitness. What about things like hair and skincare routines? Do these contribute to our overall wellness at all? And do you encourage us to do those kind of things?
Absolutely. As you know, when you get older, your skin starts to thin and starts to dry. So it's really important. There goes that well balance, right? That maintaining, like it's not just the brain, it's not just the being physically strong, but you got to take care of yourself, right? You don't want to be stinky and then you have issues with your skin and then you have eczema, then you get allergic and then you have allergies. And it's just like a snowball of craziness. But yes, it's really important to take care of your skin. Hydration is really important because if you don't take in enough water, besides cleaning out your body internally, your skin is going to take a toll on it. You're going to have super dry skin, then it's going to start cracking, then you're going to have creams, and then the cream's going to have chemicals in it to to counterbalance. So it's just like an endless cycle of be basic, be simple, and live off the earth, and then you will be fine. So yes, it is important to get groomed. You don't want to have ingrown toenails. It prohibits your ability to move around and function. You can't wear shoes because your feet hurt. So take care of yourself. I tell my seniors all the time, you should never become a victim inside your own body. You should never be afraid for your feet to touch your hands. Sometimes people have gotten so disconnected from themselves that touching their feet, lotioning their feet isn't really something they do anymore. They just slide their shoes on and slide their shoes off. I've actually had somebody tell me that they don't technically wash their feet. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, I get in the tub or I get in the bath and the water runs down on them. I'm like, yeah, but what happens to washing them? And they're like, they get clean. And I thought it was hilarious, right? But then I had to let them know it's really important for you to actually wash your feet because you want to get that dead skin off. You don't want to have caked up, build up, and then you have neuropathy start happening when you don't take care of your skin. And I mean, it's a whole line of mess. And neuropathy comes from a lot of other things, but when you're not taking care of your skin and your hair, there's a lot of other things that come along with it. You don't want dirt in your hair. You don't want any buildup. You need that just as much as your body sheds skin, your hair sheds hair. You want to get that out. You don't want to just be raggedy in a sense. And it doesn't mean you have to be done up. I really don't wear makeup or jewelry. It's just not a part of my thing. Some people are like, hey, I got all this on and I'm feeling glamorous. And everybody has a different level of taking care of themselves. But basically, you should be cleaned and groomed, nothing overgrowing, nothing, undergrowing too, biting your nails to where you're bleeding. That's not healthy as well. Then you get numb and then your nail doesn't grow back healthy. It starts to get misshapen and misformed because you're biting, and that's stress and nerves. So
Yeah, that's a good point. And I imagine doing self-care type things probably can
mhm,
reduce your stress and
absolutely.
all of that as well. So that sounds great. So you were talking about all of your residents and all of the things that they're doing. And you said it's not necessarily like going out and running an Ironman or a marathon. What kind of goals do your residents typically have? What are some realistic goals, or what kind of things are they working for in their own wellness journeys? Is there anything you could share with us?
Yeah, just basic life, just lifing. I love saying that. People like, how's life? Life is lifing. We here when we do our exercise activities, it's not for you to lose weight. It's not for the cosmetic portion of it. It's more so that you maintain your strength and that you prevent any degeneration, period. You don't want your muscles to start to atrophy. You want to still be able to be function. If you can actually bend over and tie your shoe without falling forward, without having any equilibrium issues, getting up off the toilet, being able to, and everybody freaks out when you talk about the floor, being able to get up off the floor is so important when you get older. um being able to bend your knees more than 90 degrees is so important, because what happens is a lot of times when people fall, majority of the time, before they even know if they're hurt, they are so just distraught that they fell. Oh my God, I fell. I don't even know how I fell. They're more freaked out that they're on the floor than if they actually are hurt, right? And it's because, oh my gosh, I'm on the floor and I can't get up. So in the senior years, that's a lot that you hear of people falling. And this is why you should be physically fit, because if you, and I don't mean physically fit, meaning like Iron Man, but physically able to deal with your own body. Hold your own body weight. Your arm should be able to hold your body weight. So if I tell you to take your body weight and put it over top of you, or go into a assisted plank, which means you're in the chair and you just hold your body weight, you should be able to hold your body weight. So all of our exercises are geared to making sure that they can still reach up in the cabinet without tilting over to the side, that they can tie their shoe without falling face first into the floor, stepping up on a curb without tripping their toe up, walking backwards or walking sideways. It's stuff that people become very lateral when they get older because they become very cautious about falling. And falling is more not necessarily because they're scared to get hurt, because they're scared that they can't get off the ground. So I remove that fear here in the building. I actually once a month get the residents down on the floor and make them get up. And I use a chair and I show them what happens if you're hurt. So I educate them and I let them feel it. And a lot of times, if our residents take a fall, they get right back up and we don't have to call the paramedics here. And that's what you want in any community. You don't want all your residents to be a fall risk, but when you implant education and actually have them go through it and show them that they can do it, that it's a success, that I will not leave you on the ground, but you need to know how to do this just in case something does happen, you turn around too fast, or you was trying to maneuver your walker or your cane and you fell, that you will be okay to get yourself up. So that's a lot of what our classes are geared to. We
Oh,
do a
that's
little
great.
bit of a fit test, which are basic exercises. It's like 10 exercises that you should supposed to do that will help you move around.
So that's awesome. That goes way beyond just helping, like the education piece. I've never thought of this way. So this is really great for me.
Yeah.
If we're about to wrap up, so if anybody has any questions, make sure you get them in. This is your last warning because I just have one more question for you that I'd like to go on. And so if we get anything else, I'll throw those in. But otherwise, so the people who have joined us already today, and they're going to get the webinar, the link, and for people who watch this in the future, the fact that they're watching, the fact that they're signed up, it shows that they're kind of making that first investment, or they're already beginning to make that investment in their health. So we can kind of consider this maybe a starting point for some. What should be their next steps? What can we do? I know you're working with the residents in your building, in your community. What about the people who just come across this and they're like, okay, it's time to make that investment? What's day one look like?
Get involved in something they've always wanted to do. It could be painting, it could be ceramics, it could be taking a walk. Whatever they've thought about doing, they should actually do, because they won't feel good unless they do it, right? It's only a thought. And thought really has no power unless it can actually be done. So you can study, oh gosh, you can study and get more research and get more knowledge, but knowledge without usage is powerless. So if you just keep obtaining information, but you actually don't apply it to your life, then it's only in your mind. So it doesn't really exist in a sense, right? Because you're not really physically doing it and you're not physically making a change. The fact that people are here and they're tuned in, and I have given quite a different resources that people can look into just to back up exactly what I'm telling you about. And all the research pretty much says the same thing. There is no new method of moving. Just get moving. If you wanted to take a line dancing class, you don't need a partner for that. You just need to get your shoes on and go. Get a water bottle and your keys, or however way you get there. Find a local community center. People are always giving out free demonstration classes at different places. So wherever they are, they can look in their local community. Libraries normally have some things. I mean, there are so many outdoor classes that you could do. The colleges offer low costing classes. So if you were ever interested in anything, cooking, do a cooking class. If you wanted to learn how to make something really gourmet, do it. And you can look on YouTube nowadays. I really do promote getting out and getting off of social media, because it's a whole nother universe. And if you actually go out, you're getting that multiple layer of connections, right? When you're in the home and you're doing something off of YouTube, it's just you and the screen. You don't really have anybody to talk to. You're probably yelling at the person, I did add a cup. It's not turning out right. But if you get yourself involved in a community, and yes, some people who are very shy they have an issue with going out and trying to get involved in a new environment, but do it because that's how you learn new friends. Don't be afraid. At some point, everybody was once a newbie in a sense, right? We all had to start from somewhere. We all did it one time and then we loved it or we hate it. So, and you don't have to be committed to one thing. If you want to bounce around and just do things like a bucket list, do that bucket list, but physically do it. Like go out and do it. It means nothing for you to gather information and just obtain it. It is something when you actually apply it. So if you wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle, be careful. That's what I would say to that. But fulfill your own destiny, fulfill your own wishes, fulfill your own happiness. Make it happen for you. Hopefully money isn't an object. And if money is, there's so many places you can go for free. Look for those resources of free things that you can get into. Some places will actually come and pick you up and offer transportation, but you just have to want it. You have to look for it and you have to do it. Actually do it. And don't be afraid because now you're going to have a new story. I tell my residents here, good or bad is something new. If it was something you didn't like, you'll say, oh, I went to such and such and I didn't like it. But now you have a new memory. Now you have a new event in your life to talk about. You have a new experience to share. You have new wisdom. I went there and oh my gosh, it was crazy. Or I had a fabulous time. That was the first time I did it. And I sweat and I thought I was going to die, but I made it and it was great. And then you're telling everybody about it. And then it's contagious. So my one thing is to do it. Do it before you can.
That's great advice. Well, it looks like we don't have any more questions. So I'm not going to keep you. I know you've got a lot. You've got a community full of residents who need you. So I want to just thank you, Veronica, again, for all of us, for teaching us the importance of prioritizing our health and wellness. And I have learned so much on this webinar. So I'm really glad I had the opportunity to speak to you today. So everyone's going to receive a link to this recorded webinar to the email that you registered with very shortly. So if you enjoyed this webinar, you should also visit our website, www.seniorlivinglive.com, where we have so many great webinar recordings on all of the topics you're looking for, including many more about health and wellness. All of our videos and podcasts and all of the recordings are all free. So make sure to check those out at your convenience. So again, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Veronica, for joining us. And thank everybody so much for being a part of Senior Living Live. Have a great day, everyone.